everyone, how are we today? Just doing an all signs reading today. We are going to be doing a cross watcher reading. So watch the sign of the person that you are interested in. We are going to see what is going on with them and if there's going to be any sort of movement happening in that connection with you. So once again, just watch the sign of the person that you're interested in. I will do one at the end for if you don't know the person's sign. So if you do want to jump into the description box for the timestamps, that's where they will be. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you can stay up to date with all the readings. Do leave a comment on the video so that you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. I will be drawing that in just a few days. So comments in, guys. Get your entry now before it's too late. All right. Today I am going to be using the Sweet Love Tea Oracle cards as well as the Whimsy Lenormand deck. All right, keeping timestamps as always, like I said, in the description box for those. And we are going to start off with Aries. Okay, if you are watching for an Aries, what is going on with the situation between yourself and Aries? What's going on with this Aries? What's going on in the situation with you and an Aries, please? Okay, so we do have protection coming through first. That does say sanctuary, self-care, taking care of yourself as well as the relationship. So whether that is you, I do feel that for a lot of you, it is this Aries that is currently in a bit of a self-care, self-preservation kind of energy. But the reason that that is the case is this mend souls energy coming through as well. Loving with purpose, healing with compassion, empathy, forgiveness, and renewal. All right, so they're currently, in an energy of self-preservation, self-care, in order to mend their own soul, in order to mend the connection with you. Let's see if we can get a bit more information. For those of you who are dealing with an Aries, what's going on in this situation with Aries, please? Okay, so it's kind of an interesting message I'm getting here because I do have the snake followed by the moon, and that has come through with the rider. So it kind of feels like this rider, the rider does bring forth messages, and I feel as though this is what that mending souls energy is all about, that it's, somebody, understanding these parts of themselves a little bit more, this snake and moon energy. And that's what's coming forth. The snake here, I do feel as though this is kind of talking about somebody starting to understand the illusions that they have been believing about the connection. There is a very strong, physical desire here with that snake energy. There may have been, feelings of betrayal involved in the connection in some way, shape, or form. The Aries may be feeling betrayed a little bit here, but it's kind of that energy of realizing that feeling betrayal from you was part of the illusion. I don't feel as though the betrayal is real. It's that sense of betrayal. And not in a physical kind of way. It's just like feeling somehow betrayed by you. It doesn't really want to, like, emotionally, because we have the moon there. So, I would kind of presume that the betrayal was, an emotional kind of betrayal, that they're feeling, that you somehow betrayed their emotions. It's not wanting to clarify what that betrayal actually is, because it's kind of just pointing out to me that, the betrayal is not necessarily real. It's somebody now seeing through that sensation of betrayal and realizing that that was actually an illusion, that they had allowed themselves to believe that there was this emotional betrayal in the connection here. But they're actually now sort of seeing through the emotions and seeing the deeper, understanding things a little bit deeper here with the moon energy. It's sort of, you know, the things that were in the darkness are now starting to come to light for this person, that they're now coming through to this person as messages that they're kind of learning. I feel like it's that self-growth, that self-preservation is allowing them to see through, you know, the things that have held them in the dark in regard to this connection. So it does feel as though Aries is very, very focused on, you know, just following their intuition and dealing with their own emotional well-being at this current stage. For the person dealing with an Aries, what's happening in the near future with Aries for this person, please? Person dealing with Aries, for the person with Aries, watching for Aries, what's going on in this connection in the near future? I don't know if that's an answer or if it is an answer. We have the masculine and the feminine. So we do see a divine pairing coming through. I suppose outcomes of this connection. For the person watching for Aries, outcomes of this connection for yourself and Aries. We do see the whip and then the child coming through here. So, you know, in the process of trying to clear out what's been in the past between you know, in this connection on this Aries mind, it is causing some conflict within themselves, within the connection. We do see the child though, so there is an element here of some potential immaturity, but also, you know, wanting a new beginning, but feeling very conflicted. It does feel like this child energy is very, very conflicted energy. It's on one hand wanting a new beginning and wanting to sort of, you know, enjoy and be playful with the connection, but on the other hand, it's, you know, self-confliction, you know, self-punishment and drama, tension, trouble, potentially even fighting because of some sort of immaturity in the future here. We do see the panda clarifying that as well, which is the bear in the traditional deck. So it just kind of shows us that once again, it's that self-preservation coming to the surface. You know, this person's just got some really high walls up. This Aries does seem to have some big walls up at the moment, and they're just focusing on protecting themselves, and it can, you know, with that child there, it can come through as defensiveness. So, you know, in the near future, it doesn't seem like there's any, you know, hugely positive outcomes here. It just feels as though it's ongoing energy where this person is still needing to, you know, protect themselves and mend and grow within their own self a little bit further. So that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check other placements, you know, especially moon signs this close to the full moon, Venus signs when it comes to love and romance as well. Leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading, and I will move on to Taurus. Okay, so for those of you who are watching in regard to a Taurus, what's going on for those of you watching for Taurus, please? If you're watching for a Taurus, love's wings coming through here. Putting aside differences and soaring to the next level. Divine devotion and ascension. Okay, so definitely seeing things with the Taurus, moving on up. Empowered love coming through as well. Harnessing your strength and loving with confidence. Charm, solid, steady. So things with the Taurus do seem to be, you know, pretty empowered here, moving up to the next level, continuing onwards and upwards. We're not seeing backwards movement here with the Taurus, so that's definitely a good thing. Okay, for those of you watching in regards to a Taurus, what's going on with this connection with a Taurus? Definitely moving forward, moving on and up. I'm not seeing anything negative here. You know, putting aside differences and ascending to the next level. The clover, okay, taking chances, investing. Good fortune surrounds this connection. We do have the stars, wishes being met here, dreams being fulfilled, staying hopeful and optimistic that we are definitely on the right track here. We are definitely moving forwards with the ship as well. So definitely seeing things moving forwards and onwards and upwards kind of energy. You know, that journey is kind of just beginning with this Taurus. It's, you know, all your ships coming in. There's a lot of positive energy coming through with this connection. I really enjoy that for you if you're dealing with a Taurus. Okay, so that's what we have for you. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, for those of you watching for Gemini, if you are watching with a Gemini in mind, for those of you watching in regard to Gemini, what's going on? Love stories. Communicating and saying what needs to be said. Tough love, truth talk. All right. So needing to be very, very open and honest, you know, between yourself and Gemini here. That may be a little bit of a tough energy, but we do need to, you know, really communicate with our Gemini, say what needs to be said, even if it is a little bit tough love with the Gemini at the moment, because we do also see strong roots coming through. That one says building a foundation of trust with someone, faithful and being friends first. So building a really strong foundation through being very open and honest and communicating, you know, even if it's a little bit jarring for somebody to hear, it actually helps strengthen the foundation of the connection with this Gemini and enables them to know that they can trust you and that you will come to them with the harder stuff as well as the good stuff. All right. For those of you dealing with a Gemini, if you're watching with Gemini in mind, what's going on with you and Gemini? Definitely moving forward. This is all part of the journey. All right. Definitely moving forward. We have the ship there. So for some of you, I do feel as though that is actually traveling with this Gemini as well. It can talk about traveling and needing to communicate. And maybe that's where some of those harder conversations are coming in, because we might have different ideas of how traveling together looks. So definitely coming through there, but we are definitely, you know, on the right journey, moving forwards into an emotional strengthening. We see the moon coming through here. We're trusting our intuition with the way that we're moving forward. We're also, you know, taking emotions and emotional sensitivities on board, on deck, moving forward in the connection emotionally through these tough love kind of stuff, straight to the heart. All right. Love, unconditional love, romance. Can't go wrong seeing the heart in a love reading. Definitely creating a strong foundation of love with yourself and Gemini. All right, so that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check other placements, but make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Cancers. Okay, Cancer, if you're watching for a Cancer, if you're watching and dealing with Cancer, what is going on with this Cancer? For those of you watching in regard to Cancer, pardon me, we do see the power play coming through first with Cancer, wanting to dominate or control the relationship because of insecurity, influence. They're wanting to, you know, influence the connection through exerting some sort of power, wanting to sort of dominate, or it may not even be a conscious thing. Maybe this Cancer is just a very domineering type of person. But we do see looking back. So for a lot of you, you're not currently even, in each other's, active lives. With this card, missing the moments that you shared together, nostalgic and reflection. So for a lot of you, they are trying to sort of regain or maintain some sort of power over the connection through the separation, I suppose, for some of you is what I'm kind of picking up here. I'm picking up phrases such as, like it's ghosting is coming through, and that's kind of like a power play. That's part of the power move here. That even though they're looking back and missing a lot of the moments that you shared together, and they wanting to reflect upon things, it's very much like in order to gain some sort of control. What can I do? What should I have done to have more control over that situation going that particular way? I do feel as though for some of you, it is coming through a little bit here with, things like mind games and ghosting coming through as a power play move. Like, well, if I ignore them, then that gives me the power, because then they're the ones that are trying to chase. It's that runner chaser thing coming through here. Someone might be this Cancer, it does feel as though this Cancer, if they're not currently talking to you, it kind of feels like that's why they want to make you do all the work. They're not wanting to take any personal responsibility or ownership over the situation, even though they're reminiscing about it. So it is a little bit rough here, this energy, but we'll see what comes through with the lenormand as well. If you're watching in regards to a Cancer, for those of you watching in regards to a Cancer, I do feel like the hidden energy on the bottom of the deck, we do have the mountain, okay, which is followed by the scythe. All right, so this obstacle, this power play stuff, these obstacles may very, very suddenly, very unexpectedly change. That somebody may be breaking free from a certain dynamic and bringing in, unexpected change in the connection here. Once again, just be careful that the change itself is not another power play. But we do see the flower coming through first. So with the flowers coming through first, it really does show us that, the reciprocal energy and what somebody is giving, what Cancer is giving, is actually starting to, come to the surface a little bit more for Cancer. And they're starting to realize that, if they want to receive, that they do need to give as well, and that needs to be equal, that it needs to be reciprocal, not just one or the other. So it's kind of like somebody maybe potentially, trying to stop the power play stuff and trying to understand that, in order to sometimes have we want a reciprocal relationship, that we can't just have the power all the time, that we need to give the power away as well. But we do see the panda here as well, the bear energy. So once again, I'm getting a very sort of flippy energy. This Cancer does seem to be a little bit of, into kind of, because do you know what it feels like? It feels like the power play stuff is a defense tactic. It's a way that they've shielded themselves from hurt and defended themselves against hurt. And they're kind of maybe realizing that that's no longer working for them, because, with the bear here, they do want to be strong and powerful and dominant, but they also want to nurture and be that little, that mama bear that is doing it to protect, not to, defend, if that kind of makes sense. So it's just kind of like a natural defensiveness but it feels like somebody is realizing that that's not getting them what they wish for, because we have the stars coming through there as well. So there is a lot of hope and optimism here, but it does seem as though this person still just has a little bit of work to do in order to, break through that it seems just like a natural instinct, like a bear. You think about a bear and it's going to claw if it feels threatened. And I feel like that's what this person does. They put those walls up, and they put that power move on you when they're feeling, they need to defend themselves emotionally. But they're kind of realizing that that's not in line with what they actually wish for here. And if they want those wishes to come through for them, that they need to have reciprocal energy, even energy, that they need to give as much as they're taking. That things need to be equal, not just all power, one for the other. And I'm just kind of picking up your energy a little bit too, and I feel like you yourself, maybe that's why the power play is such a strong defensive move for this Cancer, because your power is just as strong. And I don't feel like they've dealt with somebody with such a personal power before. I feel like people have let them take control in the past, and they've maybe not dealt with somebody who is just as powerful as they are. So very interesting. Very interesting, but you're more than welcome to check out other placements. Do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Leos. Okay, if you're watching for a Leo, if you're watching with a Leo in mind, what is going on with the Leo? If you're watching in regard to a Leo, okay, so we have hidden desires coming to the surface at the moment for this Leo. There's someone else or a fantasy that's unfulfilled, secret, tempted, and a fair. I don't feel as though there is actually somebody else. I just want to be clear with that. I'm not picking up an actual third party here. It's a hidden desire. It's something, that is rising to the surface within this Leo that, it just feels like they're maybe really starting to be aware that they're attracted to somebody else. I am picking up strongly that for some of you, it may be a same-sex attraction. Okay, so whether that's part of your current connection or whether this is outside of your current connection, that this person is maybe actually finding that they do have a hidden desire there for same sex. So that is just coming through for some particular reason. So, it may not be something that this person was open to within their own self before. It's a fantasy that's unfulfilled. Like it hasn't been a part of this person's reality. It's something that it's kind of just coming up to the surface in them. And for some of them, it's not even to do with an actual person. It's to do with something. It does feel very sexual, though. So it's kind of like that energy of, somebody who they've never actually tried BDSM, but they want to. There's some sort of maybe kink type thing that this person wants to try that they haven't ever tried before, but it's coming to the surface. Stay strong. Fight for love, but choose your battles wisely. Courage, loyalty, and truth. Okay, so it just feels as though, with that stay strong energy, this is definitely something that can be worked through with this Leo fighting for love, but choosing those battles. Like, is this something really that is actually, detrimental to the connection or not? And using loyalty and truth as your weapons here to stay strong and have this connection, stay strong. Clarifying this message for you. For those of you dealing with a Leo, we definitely see a long-term relationship straight off the bat here, okay? We have the lily and then the ring. So definitely a long-term connection with yourself and this Leo. We do see with the Lily here, there is maybe the need for just a little bit more emotional vulnerability, a little bit more of that truth, letting this person know that, you know, the relationship is strong enough to deal with any truth that needs to come to the surface, any of those vulnerable emotional things that need to come to the surface. The relationship is strong enough for this. We do see the clouds coming through as well. I feel like that's just clarifying that this is just something on someone's thoughts. It's not it's not a reality. It's just something that somebody is thinking about. This hidden desire that somebody has in their thought. For some of them, it's like they can't stop thinking about it. So it's kind of starting to take over a little bit here. They're overthinking about it a little bit there. But I feel as though they are placing more importance on it than it really needs to have, because of the fact that it's kind of like it's just clouding their judgment a little bit, because, you know, it's just they can't get it out of their head kind of thing. So I feel as though it's not actually as significant as this person thinks it is. You know, so definitely stay strong in this connection with this Leo. It's definitely something that can be, you know, worked through, and I do definitely see a long-term connection here with this Leo. All right, but make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to our Virgo. Okay, so if you're dealing with a Virgo, for those of you watching in regard to a Virgo, very interesting energy here. I do have the back and forth energy kind of fell on out here. But what's actually happening is I don't feel as though you actively realize that about Virgo, because this seems to be the main energy for more so for you, whereas this seems to be more so for Virgo. All right, so for you here, we've got making magic. Everything seems perfect and it's not an illusion. Trusting and believing in love. So I feel like for you have a lot of trust in this connection and a lot of trust in this Virgo, and you may not be aware of this back and forth energy that's going on for this Virgo, changing their mind or being confused emotionally, flighty and uncertainty. So I do just feel as though, I hate to say it to you, but I feel as though the Virgo just may not be as sure about this connection as you are. You do seem to be, you know, very sure about this connection, and you know, aware that, you know, that you feel as though you trust this Virgo implicitly, and you believe in them and believe in the love that you share with this Virgo. But, you know, I'm not going to call you out here. Well, maybe a little bit, but you wouldn't be really watching if there wasn't something. You know, if everything was perfect and really was perfect with Virgo, you wouldn't be watching this sort of a reading, to be honest. You probably wouldn't be watching tarot at all, or, you know, readings at all. It wouldn't be, you'd only be sort of watching, you know, career ones or that sort of stuff. You wouldn't necessarily be choosing to watch something like this that may bring up things that are confronting in regard to love and this connection for yourself. So I feel like deep down there may be something that you're kind of like, but I just want to see what's going on for them, because for you, you're all solid, but for them, that's where the issues are. It's not necessarily a huge issue either. It's just they're just not as 100% as you are. And I do feel that for a couple of you, it's not even to do with you specifically. It's got to do with, like, you know, for some of you, it's like they're just unhappy with their job. They're unhappy with where we live, those sorts of things. It's like maybe they want to move and they're trying to decide, oh, should I move? Should we move? Like, you know, because it does feel like they are taking you into consideration with those sorts of choices anyway. But for some of you, it may just be that this Virgo is just sort of, you know, going back and forth in their own head about, you know, decisions that outside of you and this connection. And maybe that's why they're showing this energy. Okay, for those of you watching in regard to a Virgo, for those of you watching in regard to a Virgo, yeah, so, we do see a very strong spiritual connection between the two of you. We have the cross coming through first. So it is a very strong spiritual connection. And, destiny is going to have its way with you one way or another, okay? It does feel as though it's very sort of destined kind of connection, that you are supposed to be with this person right now. But, we do see the clouds and then the moon coming through, so it's kind of like somebody here overthinking quite heavily about their emotions, and it's that back and forth energy again, stuck between going up in their head and overthinking things and getting drawn back to their heart and how they're actually feeling. It's this fight between head and heart kind of going on at the moment, and with that cross there as well, for a lot of you, it's got to do with responsibilities, right? And feeling, responsibilities to the connection, and to just elsewhere in life as well. It may not, once again, it may not even have anything specifically to do with the connection itself. It may just be this person feeling a lot of burdens at work, or a lot of responsibilities, to make up decisions where we're, if we're going to move and this sort of stuff, and they're sort of going in between their head and their heart, their head and their heart, their head and their heart. They can't make up the mind whether their thoughts and their logic mind make more sense than their feelings and their intuition. So it's kind of like they're fighting. Those two are kind of fighting it out at the moment. Near future outcomes for Virgo and the person that is watching for Virgo. The people watching for Virgo, near future outcomes of this connection, please. Definitely relocation for some of you. We do have the rider followed by the house. Okay, so moving towards a new house, quite literally for some of you here, moving towards security, safety within the connection. It does seem, stability. It is going to stabilize. This back and forth energy will stabilize no matter where it's sort of coming from. It is going to stabilize in the near future for this connection. Somebody may just need to, oh, good news, we've got to relocate. We're going to relocate. So some of you, the Virgos, are making some sort of decision like relocation, that sort of a thing. And that's why we are seeing this energy. But for others of you, it's just, just that general sort of outcome of moving towards stability within the connection. So definitely will be easing off very, very soon, I feel, for a lot of you there. So that's what we have for you. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to Libra. Okay. For those of you watching for a Libra, for those of you watching in regard to a Libra, what's going on with the Libra? Those of you watching for Libra. Ooh. Interesting. I do have stay vigilant coming through first. Setting clear boundaries to ensure your well-being, being aware, healthy, and in control. So I feel like, yeah, but then we have stay strong as well, which is fighting for love, but choosing your battles wisely, courage, loyalty, truth. So I do feel as though Libra is the one that is being very vigilant at the moment, being very it kind of feels like very set apart, very trying to be very in control of their own self, and aware of every little thing around them. I kind of feel for a lot of you that there's something going on with the Libra specifically that is making them be like this. It may not be anything to do with you, And that's why it's kind of, fighting for love, but choosing your battles wisely, because I feel like the Libra kind of just needs to be like this right now. That they're in this energy of vigilance, and that's how they feel safe right now. Um, both those cards say stay, which I find very interesting as well. But we'll have a look here with the Lenormand. Okay, for those of you watching for a Libra, for those of you who are watching in regard to Libra, so yeah, we have here the Clover coming through first. Investing in the Libra. I feel as though it's investing in the Libra's need to feel more secure and more safe at this current time. Taking a bit of a risk, taking a chance to help the Libra feel safe and secure here. We also have the Lily, which is, emotional vulnerabilities, and that's very potentially why the Libra is staying so vigilant and aware of every little thing right now. It does feel like a little bit of fear on the Libra's side of things. I'm just getting a very strong message here of needing to, be truthful and show the Libra that you are loyal and honest and all those sorts of things, that you're willing to fight for them. We also have the Letter here, which is communication. And then the Lily does have elements of, longevity, long-term energy. So it's kind of like taking a risk to tell the Libra, look, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for the long haul. You can be vulnerable with me. I'm here to help you feel safe and protected, and I'm loyal to you. You can trust me. That kind of energy. I do feel as though it's just the Libra more than anything, just needing a little bit of reassurance that you're here. You're here for them, and that you're here to help them feel safe and protected long term. And they're needing that communication right now in regard to that. They're needing that truth. We stay strong. That courage, loyalty, and truth. So it may take some courage on your behalf to be very open and honest with the Libra about that and how your side of things is. But it's a risk that it's worth investing in this Libra. So take the chance, I suppose, on Libra and reassuring Libra. All right, but that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check other placements there. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. And we will move on over to the Scorpios. Okay, if you are watching for a Scorpio, what is going on between yourself and the Scorpio? Got a lot trying to come out here. Okay, just one more, please. What is going on for you watching for the Scorpio? Oh, okay. Actually, it's telling me take it at the third. So, righto. Oh, okay. And it just keeps, Scorpio's got so many messages wanting to come through here. Firstly, we see the golden cage coming through, breaking free from stress and toxic relationships, escape worth and new paths. So I feel like this is the Scorpio, that they're about to break free of this cage that they have held themselves in. They may have had some toxic past relationships. There may have even been some toxicity in your connection with the Scorpio, but they're breaking free from that energy and trying to sort of find some sort of freedom away from that stress and finding their self-worth in amongst all that as well, which it's a reason for celebration. We have celebration there, taking time to appreciate the good things, happy days, partying. Okay, so for some of you, you may actually be attending a celebration with the Scorpio, or where you see the Scorpio, or it could just definitely be, you know, that energy of it's a reason to celebrate that this Scorpio is freeing themselves from things that they've been trapped in. We do also see endless love. All right, beautiful card. This could be the one you waited to love forever. Engaged, wedding, and commitment. All right, so this definitely could be the one that you, maybe that's the reason for celebration, that the Scorpio is finally ready for endless love. It could be what you've been waiting for. That maybe that's why we're celebrating. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, we're running off into the sunset and getting engaged tomorrow. It's just a higher level of commitment to whatever you are currently at with the Scorpio. And I do feel like for a couple of you that is, you know, you have not even been speaking to this Scorpio, and all of a sudden they're, you know, they're freeing themselves from this toxic stuff, and they're, you know, embracing the level up, the commitment of, you know, getting in touch and all that sort of stuff. But we'll have a look with the lenormand as well. Okay, for those of you watching in regard to a Scorpio, for those of you watching in regard to a Scorpio, things definitely getting stirred up for the Scorpio. We have the stork coming through there, stirring up brand new energy. All right, it's new ideas on how to deal with emotions. Specifically, we have the moon there, new ideas on how to trust and follow their intuition. I feel like this is the Scorpio. They're the one with all the new ideas on how they're doing things, how they're breaking free from this cage that they've been in, and they're stirring up brand new emotions within themselves and moving forward, trusting their intuition, you know, in a new kind of a way. We do also see the feminine, which is also, you know, quite an emotional energy, very much like a nurturing those emotions. So rather than hiding from them, this one does actually nurture those emotions. So, you know, this Scorpio does seem to be moving in the right direction. I just want to clarify there, because that feminine energy, it's just a very nurturing, emotional kind of energy, someone coming from their heart space. Near future outcomes for those of you watching in regard to Scorpio. Near future outcomes for the connection for this person watching for Scorpio. We have the fish and the panda. Okay, so that's the bear in the traditional decks. We have, you know, positive abundance, wealth, a wealth of, you know, positive energy there flowing, especially around money. This is definitely positive money connection. For some of you, this definitely could become a partnership in a business sense as well in the future. We do also see the bear there. So for some of you, you know, Scorpio may be very protective of their finances. I do just need to sort of let you know about that. But it does talk about somebody who, you know, they've got strong boundaries. They're no longer, you know, overwhelming or underwhelming boundaries. They're regulating their boundaries, standing tall and strong in their own self. So they're, you know, they're no longer in this cage where they can't be their true self. They are standing tall and strong and powerful in their own self, and knowing that, you know, no matter what they do, they've got abundance around them anyway. So it does seem to be very positive energy there. The bear does nurture a fair bit as well. So the feminine and the bear both coming through are both nurturing energies. And it does sort of say as well that the bear would want to protect the connection. All right, so there may just be a little bit of defensiveness in amongst it all. We all know Scorpios do have a little bit of a sting sometimes, so there may just be a little bit of defensiveness at times with the Scorpio as well. But it's self-preservation more than anything. But that's what we have for you. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to the Sagittarius grouping. Okay, for those of you watching in regard to a Sagittarius, if you're watching in regard to a Sagittarius, What is going on for you and the Sagittarius? Stability. Finding your balance and not rocking the boat. Poised, calm, and steady. So we do see a lot of stability coming through here. This Sagittarius is offering you a lot of stability in your life, a lot of balance. They're a very balanced, poised kind of energy coming through here. But we do also see choose wisely. Consider long-term issues before you commit. Wait, compromise, and trust. So there may be the need to compromise a few things here, or consider some things that could become issues in the future. The Sagittarius energy here, it's very stable, long-term kind of energy, but you may just need to just double check a couple of things. There may be a few things within yourself that you're kind of like, is that 100% really suited to me? I do feel like for some of you, it's because you yourself may be a little bit uncomfortable with stable, balanced energy. That's something that you may need to think about for your own self, because, if that's something that you have not really dealt with or been known to deal with, you yourself may be somebody who's very I don't want to say unstable, because it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like you're a bit more like go with the flow, and I'm just getting this sensation that for someone out there dealing with this Sagittarius, stability may actually seem, it may blur the line sometimes where your concern is that stable, balanced energy becomes boring to you, which I can kind of guarantee you that Sagittarius never are boring. They're never boring. But I do feel as though that's something you do need to choose wisely and think about that a little bit more before you jump onto the stable energy there. But we'll clarify here with the Lenormand. For those of you dealing with a Sagittarius, if you're watching in regard to Sagittarius, a lot of communication here. We have the letter coming through first, which is the main communication card. We have the heart in the center of it all. So there is definitely a lot of, love and it feels like shared love here, and unconditional kind of love, romance and that sort of stuff. But for someone there, yeah, that may be why the boring thing came up, because maybe you feel as though there's not quite enough romance. And that this Sagittarius is too stable in and comfortable with you, and they're not, going out of their way to impress you, kind of thing. Maybe that's what it is for a couple of you here. But we do have the bird coming through as well. So the bird does also talk about conversations needing to take place. Chitter chatter, it's especially those with the heart and the bird. It's those conversations where we stay up all night talking, and it's phone calls with the letter, lots of conversations, lots of talking things out here. I feel like presenting these concerns of yours to Sagittarius would actually be a good idea, especially for those of you where it is an issue where you have concerns about potential, are they going out of their way to be romance, or are they too stable? I feel like the Sagittarius might shock you a little bit with how impulsive they can actually be. Sagittarius, they're a fantastic energy, Sagittarius. So I can kind of guarantee, like I said, that they're never going to be boring, but there is just something coming through that, you are feeling that they may be boring in some kind of a way. So, maybe something that you just want to have that conversation about, that I don't want this to ever become boring or complacent energy. I want us to both always sort of, stay focused on the love and the romance side of things. All right. So just those conversations will solve all that, I feel, for a lot of you there. All right, so that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out other placements, but make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Capricorns. Okay, if you are watching for a Capricorn, if you are watching with a Capricorn in mind, what is going on with the Capricorn? Whoa, that is half the deck. Oh my gosh, now I need to pick that all up. One sec. Okay, sorry about that. Capricorn, throwing cards. They don't normally throw cards. Okay, so what is going on with this Capricorn? I feel like maybe they're a little bit all over the place at the moment, just with their own energy there. If you are watching for a Capricorn, what do you need to know? Embrace change. Through challenges, true connection can flourish. Journey, growth, and shift. So some sort of shifting, changing energy between yourself and the Capricorn, the need to embrace that, even if it's a bit challenging to deal with. That I was actually saying this to somebody earlier today, that sometimes conflict is necessary in order to learn how to deal with conflict with that particular person, and how to regulate our own emotions when we have those conflicts arise. And can actually create stronger foundations in connections there. We also have the first blush card. Soft whispers of affection make love bloom. Gentle romance tender. Interesting. So, it's embracing the change, and for a lot of you, it's putting in a little bit more of the soft, tender love energy, the affection. Capricorns get a bad rap saying that they're not very affectionate, they're very cold and distant. But there's all different types of affection, and it just feels like embracing the change of what you may perceive as affection as to how the Capricorn perceives affection. Maybe that's the challenge that you're facing, is how to show your Capricorn some affection in a way that does make them blush. So we'll have a look with the Lenormand as well. For those of you watching for a Capricorn, see, there's the Capricorn straight away. We have the panda, which is the bear in the traditional deck. So they're just so used to being so strong and powerful, and needing to be the boss kind of energy, that it is hard sometimes for a Capricorn to open up to affection and the softer stuff, and allow those true connections to flourish in that kind of a way. They do see, Capricorn especially, that's that cold, distant energy where they've got these boundaries up around them. And it's not that they're trying to push you away, it's that they're just trying to protect their own selves. All right, but I do see a lot of nurturing energy coming from this Capricorn as well. We do have the house coming through, so solid energy from the Capricorn. They're very very solid energy with the bear and the house there. They are quite stable and secure when it comes to nourishing and nurturing connections. So the house energy also does let us know that this Capricorn is kind of, very family orientated, because of what I'm seeing here. We have the mama bear, we have the house, which is about family. We also have the lady, which, quite often is a very strong emotional nurturing energy as well. So we do see a lot of affectionate, nurturing kind of energy from this Capricorn, but the way that they do it doesn't make sense sometimes to others. They can seem a little bit standoffish, and a little bit maybe even defensive sometimes, but that's just the way of protecting themselves. A bear needs to protect its house, it needs to protect its cubs, but under it all, they're this soft feminine energy. All right, so but just one here, just an outcome. For those of you who are watching for a Capricorn, the potential outcome for yourself and Capricorn. Yeah, look at this. We have the moon and the sun. The celestial energies coming through strong, night and day. All right, so there's a lot of balance here with this Capricorn as well. So you know the relationship and potential connection here is very balanced with emotions. You know, will come to the surface. All right, this is emotions will come to the surface. It's kind of like if you are someone who gets to see the sweet, affectionate, emotional side of a Capricorn, you kind of should feel kind of blessed, because they don't often allow people to see that softer side of themselves. But we do, you know, they're very sensitive in a lot of different ways. They're very intuitive as well. And this is happiness, okay? There is a lot of happiness, a lot of beauty and charm and happiness in this connection with Capricorn, all right? So don't be afraid of affection with the Capricorn. And maybe embracing a changed idea on what affection means when it comes to this Capricorn. They may just be a little bit different than other people that you've dealt with in that sort of a sense. They can come across as very stoic and you know, big hard boundary walls around themselves. So you know, but that's a way of protecting themselves. But that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out other placements, of course. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to the Aquarius. Okay, if you're watching for an Aquarius, if you are watching for an Aquarius, for those of you watching in regard to Aquarius, expression. Being able to share your feelings openly, vulnerable and honesty. So being very open and honest, expressing yourself very clearly with the Aquarius. We also have two sides coming through here as well. Navigate the delicate balance of give and take, time, effort, stories. So I feel as though there is, you know, two sides to this expression as well. Not only needing to be, you know, vulnerable and sharing your feelings openly, expressing yourself honestly with the Aquarius, but allowing them to do the same as well. There is two sides here, needing to make sure that you're allowing the Aquarius enough space to express themselves openly and honestly as well. All right, that you want to hear their story. You want to give your story, your emotions, your vulnerability, but you also want to take theirs on board as well. All right. For those of you dealing with an Aquarius, for those of you watching in regard to Aquarius, firstly, we have the feminine coming through, a lot of emotions there. So there is definitely feelings to be shared here, feelings to nurture between the two of you, soft, delicate kind of feminine energy being shared between the two of you. We do see the book coming through as well as the clouds. So it kind of does let me know here that there's still a lot to learn about each other, and you both kind of have your thoughts very much geared to the fact that there's just so much you don't know yet about each other, and maybe overthinking, like, oh, what exactly does the future bring here? There's a bit of, you know, unknown mystery with this connection, and where it's going to go. And so there is the need to, you know, really share these stories and share these feelings openly, because you both seem to be very muchly, you know, on the same page, where we don't know what the next chapter brings. We're both sort of overthinking it, and we can think through a million different scenarios of what it could bring, but we don't actually know for sure. So we do need to just learn a little bit more about each other in order to sort of have a better idea of where it's going here. But we'll have a look at the potential outcome. Potential outcome for yourself and the Aquarius on your mind. we have the lily here, as well as the crossroads. So it's kind of an interesting answer here because, you know, I'm asking about the potential outcomes, and I'm kind of seeing as sort of the same thing I'm seeing already, which we have the crossroads here, which is kind of like the two sides, the two choices. Which way are we going to go here with this connection? You know, trying to decide the balance of which way it's going here. We have the lily there, which it kind of lets me know that it's really going to be a conscious choice to be emotionally vulnerable with each other. The lily does talk about emotional vulnerabilities, as well as longevity. So there's definitely long-term potential here, but it needs to be chosen. It needs to be a joint decision that this is where we're going. We want long term together, and needing to be very you know, vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable with each other about that choice. All right. So once again, it's not really wanting to talk too much about anything, but it's just sort of wanting to go back over this message of, you know, both needing to express your feelings very clearly, and expressing, you know, where you want your next chapter together to go. It does need to be discussed openly and honestly between the two of you. Okay. So that's what we have for you. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to the Pisces. All right. Okay, so for those of you watching in regard to a Pisces, if you're watching in regard to a Pisces, for those of you watching with a Pisces in mind, oh, we're seeing double reference to time coming through here. We have the right timing card coming through first. Having faith and waiting until you find the right one. Hold on, self-love soon. All right, so that's coming through here with timeless elegance. You're always beautiful to someone who loves you, confident, real, and standards. So I'm not exactly sure exactly how this is referencing the Pisces, because it feels as though you're both kind of holding out. For some of you, I feel like you maybe haven't even actually met the right Pisces. The Pisces on your mind may not be the Pisces that is in your energy, to be completely honest here. I feel like it's asking you to stop and think about, is this right? Is this the right time? Is this the right Pisces? Have faith and wait until you find the right one. And then you're always beautiful to someone who loves you. Does, you know, if you stop and love yourself first, does the Pisces actually meet your standards of love? Interesting. We'll see what the Lenormand wants to say about that, because you know, sometimes it adds another layer that makes me understand it in a different kind of a way. But for those of you watching in regard to a Pisces, we have the masculine and the mouse coming through here. So the masculine shows us that, you know, logic dictates the storyline, basically, here. The gentleman, the masculine energy, is very logical, rational. So logic is dictating that this Pisces is in your past, that you have lost the Pisces, that you stress too much, you think too much about the Pisces. To be honest, it does. That's what it's wanting to tell me here. The mouse is really about, you know, things that we have lost, things that we stress over, things that kind of eat away at our energy quite a lot here. But you know, at the end of the day, it's a past energy. It's something that is no longer current in our energy. It's been lost from our energy, taken from our energy. So I do feel as though for those of you who are watching for a specific Pisces, that this Pisces may not be in your future. Okay, I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear today, but it's going to be revealed to you very, very soon that you're finding happiness elsewhere. We have the Sun. Okay, and the Sun is the card of happiness, but it's also the card of things coming to light. All right, so I feel like this is what's coming to light for you, that when you really stop and think about it and you really feel it out and trust your intuition a little bit more, that, you know, you want to wait, you want to have faith, you want to hold on for the right one, and there's this kind of truth coming through for you, this personal kind of epiphany that this Pisces is in the past for a reason, that you're beautiful to someone who loves you, and is that Pisces that person that sees you as that? You know, like, is it truly this Pisces that you want? Or do you want happiness elsewhere? Do you want happiness with somebody that is going to want this connection as much as you do? It is kind of what's coming through here. For the person who's watching for a Pisces, where does love take this person? Where does love take this person that is currently watching for Pisces, please? Towards a Gemini, most likely. We have the fish and then the flowers. Okay, towards abundance, towards happiness and abundance, towards someone who is willing to give as much as you give. I feel like for you and this Pisces, when you stop and think about it, is it reciprocal? Is it 100% reciprocal? Or is this a one-sided thing? Is this a connection where you've given and given and given and given, and Pisces has just taken and taken? You're heading straight towards abundance, wealth with reciprocal energy. This is like somebody who gives to you. All right. And I don't feel that this is that Pisces. I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear. The fish is Gemini's card. I do also associate that with Pisces and Aquarius as well. So it may be another Pisces. I do feel for some of you it's another Pisces that you're going to find. But for others of you, maybe a Gemini or an Aquarius. The Sun is also Leo as well. So we do have Leo on the table there as well. But, you know, I do feel as though there may be somebody else coming into your path soon. And maybe that's why it's time to really stop and think about, why am I even looking backwards at this Pisces? Are they really, you know, is it really the time for me to be investing energy into that Pisces? Do they actually meet my standards? Because I feel like for a lot of you that this Pisces is just not giving what you wish to receive. It's unequal reciprocation, one-sided. That they don't even meet your standards for some of you. That it's kind of like, I don't even know what I see in that person, but I do. You know, feelings, emotions are hard. I get it. Sometimes our feelings betray our standards, you know, as we all have had those moments, right? But it feels as though you're going to have this personal epiphany very, very soon, that your happiness actually lays elsewhere than this particular Pisces. All right. So once again, I am very sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear. But that's what we have for you. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And I will see you all again soon. Okay, and I almost forgot to check in for those of you who don't know the sign of the person that you're dealing with. For those of you who do not know the person's sign that you are watching for, message for you. What's going on for those of you who do not know this person's star sign? For those of you who do not know this person's star sign, Okay, so I did see these two cards for two other placements. I saw one of them for, I believe, Scorpio, and one of them for Sagittarius. So, firstly, we have stability, finding your balance and not rocking the boat, poised, calm, steady. So this person very, it does bring a lot of stability into your energy, this connection. We also see celebration coming through, taking time to appreciate the good things, happy days, partying. So for some of you, you maybe have, met this person at a party, but they do actually bring a lot of stability into your energy there. We do see that, there's a reason to celebrate within this connection. For those of you who are watching but do not know the person's sign, for those of you who are watching and you have a person with an unknown sign, the scythe, okay, so we have very sudden, unexpected changes occurring for you. I feel as though this is moving in the direction that you kind of want to go. That there's an unexpected, the big celebration is probably that unexpected change that is happening. I do feel as though that maybe for a lot of you the change itself, breaking free from past energies and moving forward there. Just clarify the scythe for this energy. Yeah, brand new opportunities. So for some of you, I am picking up that for some of you, you are watching and you're kind of like, well, I'm going to check the unknown sign category because I don't know who I'm interested in yet. So I've got your back, guys. We do see very unexpected changes coming through. The key clarifying that, showing us for a lot of you, there's brand new opportunities. There may be multiple opportunities for some of you. You may be meeting these people at a party or a celebration of some sort. But that leads to success. These changes lead to success for you here. We do have the book, kind of wants to let us know that, there's a lot to learn about this person, that you don't know much about this person as of yet. But it's kind of like a mystery. The next chapter is starting for you. It's about to start for you. You're about to, open that book up and unlock a brand new future for yourself. That is, maybe very, very unexpected for what you were thinking. But once again, leading to stability. We have the house here. So stability, it's leading you directly to a stable connection here with this person. You may even be starting a family with this person. This is the card of family as well. But something very safe and secure that you can kind of rely on, and it is that next chapter of stability in your life. So very interesting, but that's what we have for you. Like I have said for all the other signs, make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading, and I will see you all again soon.